but I think you got a nice voice. You've got a lot of great tools. That last song certainly showed us that. I'm a yes.
Ha.
Thank you, Mr.
It's a yes for me.
Thank you.
And hallelujah, hallelujah, it's a yes for me.
Thank you.
Hey!
You're going to Hollywood!
Many of them.
In the world of reality TV, we all know the superstar stories. The Kelly Clarksons, the Carrie Underwood's artists, who went from an audition room to global domination. But sometimes, the most interesting story isn't who won, it's what happened after the confetti fell to the person who almost did. This is one of those stories. It's about a country crooner with a voice like aged bourbon and a heart full of Louisiana soul. A young man who, by all accounts, captured the hearts of millions and stood on the precipice of fame as the runner-up of a blockbuster season of American Idol. You remember him, John Foster, the kid from LSU. You remember his stunning performances, the emotional judges' critiques, and the shocking finale. But what happened after the cameras turned off? In an industry famous for its star-making machine, John's path has been anything but predictable. He didn't just vanish, and he didn't just follow the typical script written for runners -up. This is the story of what really happened to John Foster, American Idol's beloved runner-up from the very real season 23, and how he built a career on his own terms, from the Nashville deals to the hallowed stage of the Grand Ole Opry, all while pursuing a surprising second dream far from the spotlight. That launched him. To understand John Foster's journey, you have to go back to the season that made him a star, American Idol season 23, airing in the spring of 2025. It was hailed as a monumental return to form for the iconic show. After Katy Perry's departure, speculation about the third judge's chair ended with a blockbuster announcement. Country music's reigning queen and Idol legend, Carrie Underwood, would be joining Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie. For fans, it was a dream panel. The season was a ratings juggernaut for ABC, and the talent pool was deep. But two contestants quickly created a rivalry that had everyone talking. In one corner, you had Jamal Roberts, a slick, powerful R&B singer from Philadelphia with a stage presence that felt ready for the Grammy Awards. And in the other, there was John Foster. John was his polar opposite, a 19-year-old freshman from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was unassuming, polite, and carried the quiet authenticity of the rural South. He'd walk on stage with just his acoustic guitar, his LSU ball cap sometimes still on his head, and deliver performances that were raw, honest, and steeped in the traditions of classic country. Fan-favorite clips show his audition, a stripped-down country ballad that reportedly made Carrie Underwood tear up as she told him, "You're the reason this music will never die." Week after week, the story grew. On Gospel Night, his performance was called a spiritual experience by Lionel Richie. On Rock and Roll Hall of Fame night, he twisted a classic rock anthem into a gritty, swamp rock masterpiece. The polished showman versus the raw storyteller. America was divided, and every blog and fan forum was a battlefield. Who deserved it more? Who was the true American Idol? The finale was one for the ages. Jamal delivered a flawless high-energy performance. John, in his typical fashion, sat on a stool with his guitar and sang a song he'd written himself, a beautiful, heartbreaking ballad that fan communities remember as "Tell That Angel I Love Her." It was a tribute to a friend he had lost and was hailed as a genuine, unmanufactured moment of pure artistry. Then came the result. After a record-breaking number of votes, Ryan Seacrest delivered the news. The winner of American Idol Season 23 was Jamal Roberts. John Foster was the runner-up. The cameras captured his gracious smile as he immediately hugged Jamal. In an Instagram post that circulated widely, he was quoted as saying, "God has a reason for me being runner-up. This is not the end. It's the beginning of a story he has already written." John Foster may have lost, but he had won the hearts of a nation. His future seemed limitless. 19 recordings would surely scoop him up. Nashville was waiting. But then, John did something nobody expected. He didn't follow the script. Before the bright lights of the American Idol stage, John Foster was just a kid from Louisiana with two passions, science and music. A profile published by his university, Louisiana State University, confirmed. He was a freshman majoring in biology. Some fan research suggests his full name is John Foster Benoit, and he chose to use his simpler middle name for the stage. His life plan was, and remains, uniquely ambitious. The LSU piece outlines a young man with two possible futures. Path A was medicine, with the goal of one day becoming a physician. Path B was music, a dream nurtured in the rich cultural soil of his home state. For him, music and medicine weren't an either-or choice, but parallel tracks. He told LSU in a quote that has become central to his story, "Whether I become a physician playing music on the side or a full-time musician depends on how eager the country music audience is to make a space for me. In either case, I'll continue my studies online and obtain my degree." This was the young man who walked into the audition room. He wasn't pre-packaged for TV. He just had his guitar and a voice that held an honesty you just can't fake. Reports from his run on the show say he sang a Keith Whitley classic, and Luke Bryan was stunned, recognizing a kindred spirit who understood the roots of the music. His journey through the competition was a masterclass in quiet confidence. He rarely went for the big, theatrical arrangements, instead creating intimate moments that felt more like a session at Nashville's Bluebird Cafe. He chose songs from the catalogs of Randy Travis, George Strait, or Alan Jackson, connecting with an audience hungry for that old soul authenticity. Fan accounts detail his triumphs, like when Lionel Richie challenged him with a Stevie Wonder song that he rearranged into a folksy acoustic number that worked against all odds, or the emotional moment he dedicated a performance of Vince Gill's Go Rest High on That Mountain to his late grandfather, a performance that reportedly left no dry eye in the house. What made him so compelling was that he seemed completely unchanged by the Hollywood machine. He was still the boy from Baton Rouge. This persona is what made his runner-up finish so impactful. He wasn't just a contestant, he was their contestant. He represented something genuine, and as he walked off that stage, his fans were certain his story was just beginning. They were right, but no one could have predicted the turn it would take next. The night of the American Idol Season 23 finale was electric. It was the showdown everyone had been waiting for. Jamal Roberts versus John Foster. Social media was on fire, with hashtags for #Team Jamal and #Team John trending for hours. Jamal was flawless. But John, for his final performance, took a huge gamble by debuting his original song, Tell That Angel I Love Her. With just his voice and a guitar, he delivered a moment of raw country storytelling that many fans believed should have sealed the deal. But it wasn't meant to be. The name inside Ryan Seacrest's card was Jamal Roberts. Now, coming in second on Idol is hardly a death sentence. Artists like Adam Lambert and Catherine McPhee have built incredible careers from the runner-up spot. There's a well-oiled machine ready to go. A record deal with 19 recordings, a whirlwind of press interviews and morning show appearances. John's fans waited for the announcements. They refreshed their feeds. John himself made a gracious post on Instagram thanking his fans and congratulating Jamal, but the expected next steps never quite came in the way people thought they would. There was no big press release from 19 recordings about a record deal or the release of his powerful single. There were no splashy morning show appearances. Instead of a vanishing act, it was a pivot. While the industry waited for him to play by the conventional rules, John went back to Louisiana. He decided to take the road less traveled. The silence from the typical industry channels wasn't a mystery, it was a choice. John Foster was taking control of his own narrative. While the pop music world wondered what his next move would be, John Foster simply got to work. His career since Idol has been a masterclass in building something authentic from the ground up, proving that a dedicated fanbase and true talent are more powerful than any industry blueprint. Instead of appearing on Good Morning America, he announced a show at the Cajun Country Jam in Denham Springs, Louisiana. It was a symbolic choice. He wasn't starting his career in LA, but at home, among the people and the culture that defined him. The announcement, made on his personal Instagram, was met with a flood of support. That was just the start. On June 1st, he dropped his first piece of post-show music, a raw one-take video of him singing Amazing Grace, filmed beautifully by a production house called Fable House. The video included a chorus sung in Cajun French, a powerful nod to his heritage. It was a declaration. This is who I am. Then came the trips to Nashville. In interviews with smaller podcasts and local media, he confirmed he was in writing rooms with really professional people and in talks with recording. He told the Linsanity podcast that he had an album's worth of songs ready and was excited to release a project soon. These were the confident statements of a working artist. The ultimate validation, however, came from the heart of country music itself, the Grand Ole Opry. On May 24th, he announced on Instagram that he would be making his Opry debut on June 7th. For any country artist, this is a sacred milestone. For John, it was proof that his talent was being recognized at the highest level, completely independent of the Idol ecosystem. His debut was a massive success, but it was his return on July 9th, his 19th birthday, that cemented his place. That night, he received a standing ovation. He later posted, "To receive a standing ovation on the biggest stage in country music on my 19th birthday is a feeling I'll never forget." The Opry doesn't book just anyone, it books real talent. He sold out shows at iconic local venues like the Texas Club in Baton Rouge and was reportedly seen collaborating with artists like Brina Nix and getting advice from Nashville Maverick, Jelly Roll. And in a fun twist, the official American Idol Instagram account, which had been quiet about his next steps, even left a supportive comment on one of his personal vacation posts. John Foster wasn't a forgotten runner-up. He was the author of his own story, writing it one song and one show at a time. Maybe the most fascinating part of John Foster's story isn't just the music he's making, but the life he's still planning to live. In an industry that demands total commitment, John has held on to the other dream that drives him, a career in medicine. This commitment to both art and academics is what truly sets him apart. The profile from LSU laid out his philosophy perfectly. Even while navigating the pressures of a national TV show, he was keeping up with his biology coursework. This was never just a backup plan, it was a parallel plan. His famous quote says it all: "Whether I become a physician playing music on the side, or a full-time musician depends on how eager the country music audience is to make a space for me. In either case, I'll continue my studies online and obtain my degree." Think about that. For a 19-year-old who just got a taste of major fame, that's a profoundly mature and pragmatic approach. The typical rising star drops out of school and moves to Nashville to chase the dream. John is building two bridges at once, making sure that whichever path he walks leads to a place of purpose. This mindset explains his calm demeanor. He doesn't seem to have that desperate energy of someone whose self-worth is tied to chart positions. He's playing the long game. If his music career explodes, he'll have the education to manage it wisely. If the fickle music industry shifts, he won't be left with nothing. He'll have a degree and the chance to build an equally meaningful life. As a doctor, this reinforces the authentic image that fans first fell in love with. He isn't just a singer. He's a smart, hard-working young man with a good head on his shoulders. While he's pouring immense effort into his music, the Nashville trips, the Opry performances, he's still hitting the books. He's proving that it's possible to chase a dream without losing yourself and to have a backup plan that's just as compelling as the main event. So, what really happened to John Foster after American Idol? He became the master of his own destiny. He's the beloved runner-up from a massive, well-documented season of a legendary show. But he's also the hardworking musician and student from Baton Rouge who took that incredible platform and used it to build a career on his own terms. The real story isn't a mystery, it's a choice. In the face of a prepackaged industry-defined path to success, John Foster chose authenticity. He didn't wait for a record label to tell him what to do. He went home, he wrote songs, he played for his people, and he earned his spot on country music's most sacred stage. John's journey shows us a new kind of fame. It proves that a genuine connection with an audience, relentless hard work, and a clear vision for your own life can be more powerful than any corporate machine. He's the runner-up who graciously lost but is now winning at a much bigger game, the game of life. He's the artist who undeniably is, and he's doing it his way. And now we want to turn the question over to you. We know so many of you watched season 23 right along with us. What was your favorite John Foster performance? Do you think Jamal Roberts was the right winner? Let us know your memories in the comments below. And for more stories that uncover the truth behind your favorite artists, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.